Good evening. Welcome to our channel. Tonight we're going to talk about the Appalachian region. Do you know about the 5 rules that the folks around there have? They are quite creepy per se. Let's have a look on them. 1. Never be in the woods from dusk till dawn. 2. Never leave the marked trail. It's marked off for a reason. 3. If you hear voices close to you, they're far away. But if you hear voices far away, then they're near. And if the voices are saying your name, do not answer. 4. Don't whistle or sing in the woods. 5. Never look too hard into the trees. With this in mind, let's continue to the video. Get a cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable and be prepared.
Story 1.
In November 1966, a young couple from Point Pleasant, West Virginia, were driving near an old World War II munitions site, known locally as the TNT area, when they encountered something out of a nightmare. A large, winged creature with glowing red eyes appeared out of the darkness and began following their car. The creature kept pace with them even as they sped up to over 100 miles per hour. Terrified, the couple described the creature as being about 7 feet tall, with a wingspan of 10 feet, and capable of soaring straight into the air like a helicopter. This was only the beginning. Over the next year, more than 100 people reported similar sightings of the Mothman. Many of these sightings occurred in or around the TNT area, a sprawling, desolate region dotted with abandoned bunkers and overgrown brush. Witnesses consistently described the creature's piercing red eyes, immense size, and eerie ability to fly without flapping its wings. During this period, Point Pleasant experienced a series of strange and unsettling events. Television signals were disrupted without explanation, pets and livestock were found dead under mysterious circumstances, and residents reported hearing disembodied voices and bizarre noises at night. Some even claimed to have experienced premonitions or vivid dreams involving the Mothman. The crescendo of these events came on December 15, 1967, when the Silver Bridge, which connected Point Pleasant to Ohio, collapsed during rush hour. The disaster resulted in the deaths of 46 people. In the aftermath, many locals believed the Mothman sightings were an omen of the impending catastrophe. John Keel, a journalist and author who investigated the Mothman phenomena, suggested that the creature was a harbinger of doom, a being whose appearance signaled an imminent disaster. Despite extensive investigations by journalists, paranormal researchers, and even the military, the true nature of the Mothman and its connection to the bridge collapse remains a mystery. Various theories have been proposed, ranging from the creature being a mutated bird to an interdimensional being or an alien entity. Yet, no definitive explanation has ever been found, leaving the story of the Mothman as one of the most famous stories in the Appalachian region.
Story 2.
In 1863, during the height of the American Civil War, the Spence Plantation in Tennessee became the site of a brutal and bloody battle. The plantation's once peaceful fields were transformed into a battlefield, with soldiers from both the Union and Confederate armies clashing violently. The aftermath of the battle left the land soaked in blood and the air filled with the cries of the wounded and dying. Following the war, the Spence family and subsequent owners of the plantation reported a series of strange and unsettling occurrences. Ghostly apparitions of soldiers were frequently seen wandering the grounds, often in full uniform and appearing to reenact scenes from the battle. Visitors to the plantation have reported hearing gunfire in the middle of nowhere, the clang of swords, and the anguished cries of men in pain. These sounds would echo through the night, creating an eerie and unsettling atmosphere. In addition to auditory phenomena, many have experienced physical manifestations of the haunting. Objects would move on their own, doors would open and close without explanation, and cold spots were felt in various parts of the house and grounds. Shadowy figures were often seen out of the corner of the eye, disappearing when directly observed. Some visitors even claimed to have been touched or pushed by unseen forces. The plantation, now a historic site, has attracted the attention of paranormal investigators and enthusiasts. Numerous investigations have documented electronic voice phenomena, EVPs, where investigators capture voices or sounds that were not heard during the recording. Thermal imaging cameras have detected unexplained cold spots, and motion detectors have been triggered by invisible entities. Despite the numerous reports and investigations, the true nature of the haunting remains a mystery. Some believe that the spirits of the soldiers who died on the battlefield are unable to find peace and continue to relive their final moments. Others suggest that the trauma and violence of the battle left a permanent imprint on the land, creating a residual haunting that plays out like a historical recording. The Spence Plantation stands as a testament to the lingering impact of war and the restless spirits that are said to still roam the grounds. It has become a popular destination for history buffs and ghost hunters alike, each hoping to catch a glimpse of the spectral soldiers or experience the eerie atmosphere for themselves. The haunting legacy of the Spence Plantation ensures that its story will continue to be told for generations to come.
Story 3.
In 1587, 115 English settlers led by John White established the Roanoke Colony on Roanoke Island, in what is now North Carolina. The settlers, including White's granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the New World, aimed to establish a permanent English presence in America. However, the colony faced immediate challenges, including hostile relations with local Native American tribes and limited supplies. In 1588, White returned to England to gather additional supplies and support for the struggling colony. However, his return was delayed due to the Anglo-Spanish War, which consumed England's resources and attention. When White finally returned to Roanoke in 1590, he found the colony deserted. There were no signs of a struggle or remains of the settlers. The only clue was the word Croton carved into a tree and CRO carved into another. Various theories have been proposed to explain the disappearance of the Roanoke colonists. One theory suggests that the settlers integrated with the local Croton tribe, now known as the Hatteras Indians. Archaeological evidence indicates possible European presence among the tribe, supporting this theory. Another theory posits that the colonists relocated to a different site, potentially near Chesapeake Bay, and were later attacked by hostile tribes or Spanish forces. Despite numerous archaeological digs and historical research, no conclusive evidence has been found to determine the fate of the lost colonists. Some suggest that disease, starvation, or harsh weather conditions may have led to their demise. Others believe that internal conflict or betrayal could have played a role. The lost colony of Roanoke remains one of America's oldest and most enduring mysteries. Each new discovery adds another layer to the enigmatic story, but the ultimate fate of the settlers continues to elude historians and archaeologists. The mystery has inspired countless books, documentaries, and even fictional works. It is a truly remarkable history in the culture of this land.
Story 4.
On June 14, 1969, the Martin family embarked on a Father's Day weekend camping trip to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The trip, meant to be a joyous family outing, took a tragic turn when 6-year-old Dennis Martin disappeared while playing near the Spence Field area. Dennis had been playing with his brother and other children when he darted into the woods, intending to surprise the adults. Despite only being out of sight for a few minutes, he was never seen again. The disappearance of Dennis Martin triggered one of the largest search and rescue operations in the history of the park. Thousands of volunteers, park rangers, the FBI, and even Green Berets joined the search, scouring the dense forest and rugged terrain for any sign of the boy. Helicopters and planes flew overhead, and bloodhounds were brought in to track his scent, but all efforts proved futile. During the search, some participants reported hearing a loud scream and seeing an unkempt man carrying something on his shoulder in the area where Dennis had disappeared. Despite following up on these reports, investigators were unable to find any solid leads. The rugged and often treacherous landscape of the Smoky Mountains made the search particularly challenging, with deep ravines, thick underbrush, and numerous caves complicating efforts. Theories about Dennis's fate abound. Some believe he may have been abducted by a predator, either human or animal. Others suggest he could have fallen into one of the many natural hazards in the area, such as a crevice or cave, where his body would be nearly impossible to find. There are also those who speculate about the involvement of wild animals, although no evidence supports this theory. In the years since his disappearance, numerous searches and investigations have been conducted, but no trace of Dennis has ever been found. The case remains one of the most haunting disappearances in the region. For the Martin family and those who participated in the search, the mystery of what happened to Dennis Martin continues to weigh heavily, an enduring enigma that refuses to be solved.
Story 5.
The Brown Mountain Lights in North Carolina have mystified observers for centuries. These mysterious lights appear at night, floating above Brown Mountain, and are described as glowing orbs or flickering lights that change color from white to red to blue. The first recorded sighting dates back to the early 13th century, when the Cherokee and Catawba tribes witnessed the phenomena. The tribes believed the lights were the spirits of warriors searching for their loved ones lost in battle. Modern sightings of the Brown Mountain Lights began to gain attention in the early 20th century. In 1913, a U.S. Geological Survey investigation suggested the lights were reflections of locomotive headlights from the nearby railroad. However, this theory was soon dismissed when sightings continued even after train traffic in the area ceased. Over the years, numerous scientific investigations have attempted to explain the lights. Some researchers proposed that the lights were caused by swamp gas, which can ignite under certain conditions to create a glowing effect. Others suggested that static electricity from geological activity or piezoelectric effects from the quartz rocks in the area could be responsible. One popular theory is that the lights are caused by the reflection of automobile headlights on atmospheric particles. Yet, this explanation falls short as well, since sightings predate the advent of automobiles. Moreover, sightings occur even on nights when there is no traffic or artificial light sources in the vicinity. The lights have been extensively studied by both amateur and professional researchers. Paranormal investigators have visited the area with sophisticated equipment to measure electromagnetic fields and capture video evidence. Despite these efforts, the lights continue to defy explanation, appearing and disappearing without warning and in patterns that seem to elude scientific understanding. The Brown Mountain Lights remain a subject of fascination, drawing tourists and paranormal enthusiasts from around the world. Some visitors report seeing the lights up close, describing them as eerily silent and almost intelligent in their movement.
Story 6.
In January 1897, Elva Zona Hester Shue, known as Zona, was found dead in her home in Greenbrier County, West Virginia. Her body was discovered by a young boy who had been sent to the house by her husband, Edward Shue. At first glance, Zona's death was attributed to natural causes, specifically everlasting faint, as recorded by the attending physician. Edward was visibly distraught and acted suspiciously, preventing anyone from examining the body closely and quickly arranging for her burial. Zona's mother, Mary Jane Hester, was immediately suspicious. She had never trusted Edward and believed there was more to her daughter's death than met the eye. According to Mary Jane, Zona's ghost visited her over 4 consecutive nights, revealing that Edward had strangled her in a fit of rage. Zona's spirit showed her mother the details of her injuries, including a broken neck and crushed windpipe. Determined to seek justice for her daughter, Mary Jane persuaded the local prosecutor to reopen the case. An autopsy was performed on Zona's exhumed body, revealing the injuries exactly as her ghost had described. The findings led to Edward Shue's arrest and trial for murder. The prosecution's case relied heavily on Mary Jane's account of her spectral visitations, an unprecedented reliance on ghostly evidence. Despite initial skepticism, the jury was swayed by the compelling nature of the physical evidence and Mary Jane's unwavering testimony. Edward Shue was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. He died a few years later in the West Virginia State Penitentiary. The Greenbrier ghost case is unique in American legal history as it was reportedly solved through spectral evidence. It stands as a fascinating example of how folklore and the supernatural have influenced the legal system. The story of Zona Hester Shu's restless spirit seeking justice continues to captivate those interested in both legal history and paranormal phenomena. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, these stories invite us to ponder the boundaries between reality and the supernatural. They challenge us to consider the historical context and human experiences that give rise to such enduring legends. The Appalachian Mountains are not just a natural wonder, but a repository of tales that blend history, folklore, and the inexplicable. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the spine-tingling tales of the Appalachian region. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating explorations into the world's most intriguing mysteries.